Because you're not there yet. It's something happened. But if you allow God to continue to work on you, he will strengthen and establish, making you everything that you ought to be. All right, let's break it down even more. Here's what the Passion Translation, which is a modern English translation of the scripture here. After your brief suffering, it also talks about trials and things that you'll undergo. God, who called you to share in his eternal glory in Christ, will personally and powerfully restore you and make you stronger than ever. That's the rehab that we do. You've done right in that you've completed the surgery. You've done right in that you've healed from the wounds of people. But God now got to strengthen you so you can get up and go on about your life. Otherwise, though you have completed one task in part, you are still struggling in your walk because you haven't strengthened the parts of you that need to be strengthened. Some of us are strong in our body but weak in our mind. Some of us are strong in our body but weak in our spirit. Some of us are strong in our spirit but weak in our bodies. Some are strong in the spirit but weak in the mind. Let God build you up. Strengthen you. Look, he says, God will personally and powerfully restore you and make you stronger than ever. Suffer here is the sensation of pain, different kind of suffering. It's the suffering we go through when we're in rehab. Not meant to hurt you, but meant to strengthen you. As an agony attached to it, but it's a different kind. Perfect here actually means to repair, where we get the word also rehab. The scripture says in Psalm, I think it's 138, that the Lord will perfect that concerning me. Perfect there actually means God will restore. God will renew. God will perfect. God will rehab us. Establish, to set or fix. The steps of a good man are established. That is right there. Fixed by the Lord. That's why the scripture says, they will say, do a righteous man fall 7 times. 7 times God gonna restore him. Or David said in another place, don't rejoice over me when I fall, for the Lord shall help me up. Why? Because my steps are ordered, fixed. Then I think it was Job who said, though our way gets slippery, we shall not utterly fall or be cast down, for the Lord will pick us up. The steps of the good man are, and then strengthen you find in Jude 20 where it says, pray in the Spirit of God, building up your most holy faith. So this is all what it takes to part of the rehabbing. And then settle actually is a little tricky because it means to erect or consolidate. Consolidate here is where you take 2 pieces of iron and you can weld them together to where they become one. That's really the meaning of settle. So God says, I'm going to connect with you. So they can't pull you down without pulling me down. I'm connected to you. I'm committed to you. God says, I'm going to wear myself to you, which means I'm going to assure you a better life because you can't pull you down. Oh, I think it was Paul Taylor says, that's why Taylor said this way, that even as believers, we got to be careful of how we put people down. Because man, even fallen, is still in the image of God. And he's in God's likeness. So the poor man down is the poor God down too. Thank you, Lord Jesus. So here it means to consolidate. It also means to plant like on solid ground. Thank you. Because sometimes the ship can get rocky. The stones can rock the boat. Oh, but if you connect it to God, if you let him plant your feet on solid ground, I got a scripture for that. I don't care what the wave toss. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Even if the tree bends to the ground with the force of the wind, when the wind let up, the tree gonna rise back up. Why? Because it's planted on solid ground. David said, I waited patiently upon the Lord, and he heard my cry. I was going through. He also brought me, because he got in a situation, and I'll bring it up at the end. But he said, he brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay. That is, see, that's that word settle. And he set my feet on a solid rock. And not only that, but he established my steps. I didn't put all of that, but he said, they didn't even do right there. When I got up and got my steps where I could walk right, he put a new song in my mouth. Thank you, Jesus. You know, back in the old church, they say he put clapping in my hand and running in my feet. Settle is to be established so that you're planted. David said he planted my feet on a solid rock. Luke 6, this is Jesus talking about the same thing. He's talking about the one now who has been settled, established. He is like a man building a house who dug deep and laid the foundation on a rock. Some of y'all built a house on sand. But this man who is settled by God is like a man dug deep and laid down the foundation on the rock. And when the flood arose and the stream beat vehemently against that house, it could not shake it, for it was founded on the rock. Let's trim a little bit. But for the one who did not build, who was not settled, who did not complete the rehab program, when the wind came, God Almighty, when the flood came, when the storm came, he said immediately fell, and great was the ruin of that house. Why? Because it wasn't built and solid, it wasn't planted on a solid rock. What rehabbing is: perfecting, establishing, strengthening, and settling, planning. You firm in your faith so that even though stuff happens, nothing will damage my faith. Because when God gets through with me, what used to hurt me ain't gonna hurt me. Hallelujah. I'm gonna say that again. When God gets through with me, what used to hurt. You know, there was a translation, a commentary on that. I didn't put it up there. But it says, God is so awesome that he's going to take the same stuff that hurts you and use it to heal. Let me put a scripture there. What the devil meant for evil, God will turn it. That's why I told you last week, go on and suffer this thing out. Oh, let me go get another scripture. That's what David was talking about. He said, weeping will endure but for a night. Oh, but when I complete the cycle, joy coming in the morning, when I'm going to rise up with shouting in my voice and running in my feet. Thank you, Jesus. Lord, Lord, Lord. What a wonderful God we serve. Romans 5 says it this way about this rehabbing. And not only that, all that I just named, but we also glory, in tribulation. That's a suffering. Here it is. Here comes the rehabbing now. Because the tribulation is producing something better. It's producing, it's building. It's building. Look what it says. It's building perseverance. This years ago, I wrote this years ago, that sometimes, see how I put it, our victory is not getting out of what we need. That's what we want God to snatch around. Sometimes the greater victory is the strength that God supplies to help us to stand the storm until the season changes. In other words, God ain't going to pull you out, but He's going to anoint you to withstand whatever comes against you. And God said, I'm not going to move you. I'm going to plant you until the season changes. Tell somebody, don't run from what you're going through. Ask God to anoint you to stand whatever trial you got before me. When the wind passes and it's all over, I'm going to still be shouting and giving God the glory. The victory is not getting out. The victory is the ability to stand when everybody else is falling from the same storm. Thank you, Jesus. Come on, lift your hand and tell the Lord. Come on, say thank you. Hallelujah. Come on, touch somebody and say, just don't stay there. Stay there. Stand. Okay, go on, speak a word to him. Tell him, trouble don't last always.